And I gotta say, Musashi, you just got your win stolen from you by Takeda. I'm not gonna lie, he was pretty fucking fuming with like these chapters after seeing what it really takes to deal with something of this Kishin, this goddamn like massive demonic entity. And I'm happy with the outcome, but I know Musashi isn't with this with the couple of chapters that we're going to be talking about. So this one is going to be a double review because they only just recently translated both chapter 4 and 5. So I was kind of worried for a little while. I was like, oh, we're not going to get this like translated anymore. I really want to see these chapters. I know it's kind of like I want to talk about more about Orient and all that. I kind of want to make this a new thing on the channel, just like bring this because I love Shinobu Otaku, and it's just like I just hope this is something where it's been picked up, and I think now they're kind of picking up as translations, but again, I will try and cover these when these chapters really are available or when I can and all that, but I just hope it isn't a thing with like Magi where sometimes we were waiting maybe 2 to even a month sometimes for a chapter, and it's like, oh, we need more of this, and some of this stuff is getting intense. But this chapter, as we're going to talk about with chapter 4 we're going to start discussing, is yeah, Musashi, you're an idiot for the most part, trying to think you can handle this by yourself, especially with just zero experience, which was something that we got down like immediately with this chapter when he was being like kind of talked down to a little bit by like Takeda as he was like trying to fight against like this the Kishin, and like it took multiple bushi, and I'm glad there was like again Shinobu's keeping it up with this panel stuff where it's just like you see where it is attacking simultaneously, like it's attacking in like 6 different directions. There's fire going everywhere. It's got this giant ring of crystals flying around, like spears flying, and it's just like everyone is there like, this is what you get. This is the great fight, like the fires of the great Kishin. This is what you get down. It's like, and the fact that Musashi was still going on trying to attack him, like, but the problem was that he was hurting it, but it keeps regenerating, and he's like, what the hell am I supposed to do in this scenario where it's like, it keeps regenerating no matter what I do, no matter where I hit it, and like, and even as well with like his friend and all that, so it's like he's like, man, he's putting himself at risk. Like, what the hell can I even do in this situation? And this is where Musashi, not even when he's like, man, I gotta figure this out. What the hell am I going to be doing? And this is when one of Takeda's people pulls him out right in front of them, which is the girl with the glasses. We get to see is that her sword somehow can make this giant whip, from what we know and all that. So don't know exactly what's up with the weapons so far, because like we get a little bit of clarity exactly what's up with them, like kind of in chapter 5, but we still don't know if they're like something only the Bushi can do as of yet, or is this something with like they take stuff from there, like the Kishin on there, and he's like, he kind of talks down a little bit, like against Takeda and all that. He's like, you know, he's a little bit intimidated by him at first, where it's like this guy in the blue crested helmet before and all that. It's like, what the, you know, what is he thinking and all that? And he's like, please let me go. I need to go at him. And he's like, kid, you're rushing into the jaws of death. I can't leave you out there for the most part. You like just he's giving him a reality check here and all that. It's just like, you know, why would you battle for the Kishin and all that such risky stuff? And he's like, because it's gonna be our first triumph with my friend and everything. It's like, your triumph, and yeah, like, it's my dream. You risk your lives, your dreams for well. It's like, for your dreams and all that, like especially he's like, for your dream, I like that, man, but that's not enough though. You speak without thinking, like you speak without like a reason, and like even him's like, what's the angle of this guy and all that? Like obviously he's here to like lead troops, and I kind of like where he's just like, just look at that thing, and it is imploding his army apart. Like, it is like ripping them to shreds. It is burning them, and you're like, you look at you. It takes like 30 men to hold down one of its legs. You think you can charge in alone and take that thing on? You are a naive brat. And all that. You don't have nearly enough strength to talk about your dreams and all that. And it's like, just give up, kid. Like that. You can't beat this thing and all that. And like, strangely and all that, it's like he accepts that, where it's like, yeah, no, you're right, like here, like Takeda, it's like, you have a point, I can't beat that huge thing alone, right? Like, but why do I want to fight? Like, he looks really creepy when he says this. It's like, I still want to fight this thing though. I still want to kill it and all that. And like, even still, he's trying to fight through like this whip thing where it's like, you need to actually stop forcing yourself, because the more you do, it's just going to constrict, and you can see it's making him bleed. It's like crushing his ribs for the most part, where it's like, I don't know the reason why, but he's like shaking. He's like, I need to kill this thing. If I don't, I think I'll regret it till I die, so I just gotta, like, and he's like, you know what? Just leave him. He knows. He looks like he knows what he's doing. It's like kid and all that. If he's got something that he can't give up and all that kills him, then he's a bushi no matter what. Like, and he's like, sure. But I mean, he's sending the kid to his death for the most part. Like, as he's charging in, as like all these other people like charging this giant formation. It was like this. I think it was called like the Heiten Kakyo. I think it's like the actual chapter's name, where it's like blue sky crane wing. Whereas like this. A bunch of people are charging up to release a single attack, and it's just like, we need to do this to finish this thing off. And it's like, let's do this. And Musashi fucks it up royally when he runs. Like, he's going there and he's like, you know what, and all that, like, I want to fight this thing too. He's smiling and it's like, what you got in mind, kid? And again, with the panels, one bit I really fucking love in this chapter is what he does, although it's like how his move fucks everyone up is a little annoying, where it's like, he grabs it and he does this massive slam into the ground, like, and it's like kind of pictured as like a sword going for another one, like a scimitar, and he just creates an earthquake to knock this thing apart and like trip it over. So he's like, I can go right now. There's the core, like right there. Like his friend Stella is like, yo, this is where their weakness is and all that. He's like, I can deal the final blow for the most part and all that. He's like, we need to take care of this thing right now. Like, Kojiro, just tell me where it is. And he's like, that giant red horn right there. That's the weak point. You need to go for it. And he's like, all right then, I'm gonna take care of this, like that. As he swings down on the horn. Not enough. Like, he barely even makes a dent in the thing, and his just giant pickaxe sword just breaks, and it's like, you just can't deal with this. And as it about to blow his brains out with just fire and spears and just everything, that's when Takeda comes in. He's just like, and defends him, and he's like, the first trying's the most important, no? And he's like, he slams it and he takes it off, and he's like, I hate to do this, kid, but I'm going to be taking your first triumph. I'm going to just rip that apart. And he's cocky. He's showcasing, like, he's like, I did this. This is me. This was my group's responsibility and not you. And that was like, that's a little interesting. Like, I was like, he's not going to be there like, good job, kid, and all that. And he's just like, you know what? This Kishin's mine. I defeated it. My group defeated it. And he's like, he is fuming. He's like, this is going to be our first try. And it's like, sorry, but we also have things we can't give up on, kid, as we see the things just blow up. And this is what's interesting, is like, when the Kishin blew up, it went into power. They started absorbing it, and you see Takeda absorb it alongside with his other people, and I'm thinking like, so does this make them stronger, or is this how they like rejuvenate their weapons for the most part, or like kind of this is their version of Magoi? Like, people don't normally have this energy. It's more what they get from the Kishins themselves, like, for the most part, as they have like, let's celebrate our victory and all that. Like, this is the red Kishin dead, but like that's by the Takeda Bushi, like that everyone's celebrating and ripping and roaring through the area, and it's like, yeah, you did it, like that. What great, it was like a great victory for the most part. Like, and you're seeing there, like, Musashi's he's just defeated. He's just like, he killed it so easily. No matter what, I cut it out all my might, and he just did a simple swipe, and that was it. And it's just like, this is the sheer like difference and all that. And it's like, and even Kojiro's like, we just kind of have to accept this and all that. It's frustrating. It's happened. This is our first lot. Like, this wasn't our first victory and all that. But it's just like, he's like, I'm talking, like, he's like, this scene though that we're seeing, it's the same thing that we saw for like when it like the Bushis and all that, when they were talking about like fighting the Onis to liberate like Hinamoto. Like, this is what they were fighting alongside their comrades. And he's just like, and you see like people are thanking them and all that, and it's just like, this is what they were like all their lives. And he's just like, this is like, they're never villains or anything like that. And it's just like, this is what they told me to truth and all that. This is like what they are. And it's just like, regardless, you're seeing like joy. And it's like, what it was is that the fact of the matter is that I think a lot of this, what really happened with this chapter was like, it was showcasing Musashi that you're not gonna win everything. Like, you're just not gonna take on things like that. Look how many people it took on just to even beat this person. But Takeda need, I think, like how they were even describing in the chapter where like the Bushis have been going lower and lower, like their numbers keep dying and dwindling, and like when they talk about him, where it's like when they face off against like one of the leader guys and all that was controller, like he was like worshipping the Kishin, and he's like that. It's like, this is all your fault, like Naotora, like this is all your fault, Takeda, like you're the leader and all that. You tell this impossible dream, and you just don't get a reality check, and he's just like, he needed this, I feel, to kind of keep his morale going. He needed this as well to recover like all his energy as well. Like he needed this and all that. It's like when we start hearing talk about him and all that, he's like, you know, in truth and all that, when we was growing up, we heard these words, and there were all sorts of Bushi and all that, like to prefer the present day and all that, to, you know, killing only. And it was interesting where it's like how they were talking about it, whereas like some Bushi prefer the present day piece, like of, you know, killing early. Some people just do it for the entertainment, like of killing them. Some people kind of make a profit out of it, but him and all that is like, the Onis restrict your desires, your way of life and all that. We had dreams, we gave up on them, but we could not give up them for good. So it was like, he has his intentions, he has like stuff he wants to do, and he's like, you know, we put our faith in others, we've had the faith in us, we've inherited names and inherited skills by Mitch, we came this far and all that. We want to do our own things and all that, but first we need to take care of the Onis and all that. And now, even now, we hold like in our hands power that we've never seen before. He's like just demonstrating their like blades to them, and he's like, look and all that. We look at the sky, and there is nothing that we fear and all that. Do you want a world where your kids can have that as well and all that? And then it's just like, our generation is going to seize it. And this is the one little complaint I had to chat. There was one bit where I was like, when they're all doing the swords and all that, I'm like, that's a cool pose. Where have I seen that? Oh, that's just straight out of Magi. That's just to say, like, and here's the thing and all that, like, where it's like, there's been obviously a lot of talk recently with a lot of the mangas recopying that art style, and definitely Orient, Eden Zero and Orient, I think, are the two right now where it's like they're getting the most flack for this. And I would definitely agree, like, with like Orient is taking a heavy amount of the designs and all that. Like we see, same thing with Eden Zero on there, like. We said as well, whereas like Takeda could be the next Sinbad for the most part, like Musashi is just, you know, Aladdin with red hair, so like Kojiro is just, you know, like Koen, like it's just Koen with yellow, like blonde hair and stuff like that. It's like, obviously it's hard to change that art style after so little time has progressed from there, but it's like you just kind of want to see them flare up, and I feel like there's a lot more meat to the chapters of Orient than there is and all that with what there has been with Eden Zero, and that's what it's like, because there's a lot of interesting stuff, and already with like 5 chapters in, there's a lot to talk about. We're already thinking about a character that we've only known for like 3 chapters, and he's already discussing his philosophies with us in like parts of the chapter, and we're seeing how this is conflicting with Musashi, and he's like, even where he's like, they're talking about it, it's like, I can't accept this and all that. He's saying all this stuff about Bushi and all that, and what Bushi should say, and yet there's something that's forcing me to like stand down like an atmosphere. Like he's intimidated by him, and he's like, but above all, I decided to stop hiding what I really think. And he's done that for like all his life. Musashi's done that when he was like, I want to be a Bushi when he was a BM minor, and he's just like, I need to speak my mind, even if that means ruining the hype for these heroes. And he's just like, I need to do this. And this was an interesting part where it's like, that's where chapter 5, that's where we're up to right now, and it's like, that's where that ends, and I'm like, really? Like, it's like, we're gonna end it there out of like all parts. I was like, that's interesting, where it's like, the next chapter is going to be the aftermath and talking more about like kind of this like war and like where everyone's due. So it's definitely going to be something where it's like, I don't think how it's setting up right now is that Musashi's probably not going to join the Takeda group, but he's probably going to have like an alliance with them, or like he's going to build his own Bushi, whereas like his own morals, his own ideals, like that sounds like where it's going right now, which would be interesting, where it's like, obviously we've seen the Takeda group in there, and we know for a while that we're going to be seeing the others and all that from like the great from the Great War and all that. We'd probably be seeing Uesugi Kenshin. We're going to be seeing, you know, Hideyoshi Nobunaga is going to be in here, like obviously, like with Takeda, he's supposed to be Shingen, like that's what he's supposed to represent on there. Like, are we going to be seeing like Magoichi Saika, Keiji Maeda? Like, there are a bunch of characters I want to know, like, what are we going to be seeing their like Shinobu's versions of them? And if anything, some of them will have some very interesting ideas. Because one of my favorite things about Magi was the conflict between Sindria and the Cohen Empire, and a lot of things how that went down was very interesting. And I feel like you can have such interesting chemistry with this kind of freeway party with like Kenshin and or with Musashi's group, and this is going to say like he maybe mentors under him a while. It just seems like that, and it's like it's interesting that with this chapter, I like the fact that Musashi was like, I'm tired of like hiding my feelings against everything. Even though I'm weak, I know I'm weak, I know I'm wrong, and I know exactly kind of what this guy is doing at the moment, where it's like, he needs this for his troops, he needs this for his Bushi, and he needs this to like kind of remind people that the hope and like, they're the big deal, they're the Hinomoto, like they're the whole ideal. Like, there's still a lot of things going on in the chapter, and it's like, I can still see Shinobu's writing here, where it's like, I can still see what the bits she's building for characters, and like how she's setting up. It just depends, like, where we go with them. It's like, if they're not full, again, like, I don't think these characters are full carbon copies and all that. I just think the art style, that's my whole like, feel like issue is like, some of these characters are a little bit similar in how they act on there, but still I love this series and like that so far. From what we've seen for the 5 chapters, yes, I'm engaged with the series. I want to talk about more about this series. Same thing with a lot of the newer series and all that. I just wish some of the art style changed up a little bit, and I think we're just going to have to accept that with our newer series, again, it's going to take time for them to like kind of evolve. But then again, I love Shinobu's art style, so I think a lot of people have been complaining about them and all that, like with the art styles and all that. Personally, it doesn't bother me too much unless it's just a carbon copy. Like, say like Eden Zero has a character that is just Urza Scarlet. It's just design-wise, it's Urza Scarlet with an eye patch on it, and it's like, that bothers me. These slightly different, but then you can still see like where it's like, that's Aladdin, that's Cohen, that's Sinbad. Like, you still see like some of the stuff going on here, but maybe we can see what you guys think. But that's all from me though. Definitely still recommend this series and all that, and just really I'm having a lot of fun with it. I just hope that you hear the translations. But that's all from me. Thanks always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.